York and in Toronto too, there was this folk music uprising happening. We were from the other side of the tracks.
Right.
We were playing R&B and rock and roll, and on the joints that we were playing in were really rough clubs, bars, right? And the folk scene, they were playing in coffee houses. There was nobody sipping cappuccinos where we played, right?
Yeah.
And so we thought, wow, this is for college kids over there or something on the other side of the tracks.
Right.
You know, we don't go over there, but sometimes they come over here.
Yeah.
Right? And so it was just another thing. And there was a bit of an irony then to actually hooking up with somebody like Bob Dylan.
Right.
Who was like the king of the folk music world.
Well, you were part of this whole transition, really.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So how's that? So you're playing with the Hawks, and how does, who was it, Albert Grossman that roped you in?
It was Albert Grossman, and we had a bit of a reputation out there.
Which is what?
Which is being a hot band.
Mm-hmm.
That we really could play. And and so people knew that.
Yeah.
And the word was out.
Yeah.
So amongst Albert Grossman and the people at his agency and Bob Dylan and everything, the word was on the street, right, about these guys. And in the beginning, I got a message to come and meet with Bob Dylan, and I'd met him in passing with John Hammond Jr.
Yeah.
John Hammond Jr. took me to the recording studio to see a friend of his who was recording that day. We go in the studio, and this guy, Bob Dylan, that I don't know very much about, has just recorded a song called Like a Rolling Stone.
What was that, 64 or something? 65?
65, I think.
And his dad, John Hammond Sr., was the producer, correct? Or
was the guy who discovered.
Yeah, the A&R guy, the head of, where was he, at Columbia? Yeah.
Signed him to Columbia.
I always wondered about John Hammond Jr., because I'm a big fan of his, and I like his way of playing the blues, and I always have. Was at that time, was there a sense that he's like, well, he's the boss's kid kind of thing?
No, I don't think John Hammond Jr. and Sr. got along that well, because John said his parents had split up.
Right.
And he was on his mom's side.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, and him going off to become a white blues singer.
Yeah.
I don't think that the father thought that's something in this family we shouldn't do.
Well, it's interesting because he recorded all those singers, and he found these, like, he's even part of the Springsteen story, and I think Billie Holiday, and like a very famous
See, he
guy.
thought it was fine for Billie Holiday to sing blues.
Right.
He didn't think it was okay for his son. I'm guessing at this.
Right, sure, I get you.
You know?
So you're up there with John Hammond, you see Dylan in the studio.
So I meet him in passing. Then, I don't know, a while later, I get a message to come and meet with Bob.
Yeah.
And I have no idea what this is about.
Right.
I was curious, and I went and met with him, and he wanted to hire me to play guitar with him on some dates that he was going to do.
Yeah.
And so I said, I can't. I'm in a group. We don't.
Yeah,
we don't go
package
off.
deal.
And he said, well, how do we make this work? And I said, well, maybe, because it was just really 2 dates he was talking about. I said, if Levon can come too, he's like my partner.
Yeah.
If Levon can come too, maybe I could pull this off.
Right.
So they figured it out. Levon and I played these 2 dates with him, and they were like a nightmare, a musical nightmare.
Why?
We played at Forest Hill Stadium in New York and the Hollywood Bowl in L.A., and we didn't know what this routine was.
Yeah.
That people hated him going electric.
Right.
We'd only ever been electric. We thought there was something funny about the idea of going electric.
Right.
But we understood the thing. But people threw stuff at us, booed us, and charged the stage. I mean, physically.
Fokies charged the stage?
Charged the stage.
To do what?
With anger and venom coming out of their mouths. It was like, oh my God, they really hate this. So we play these 2 dates, and Bob says, that went pretty well. How would you like to do a whole tour? So we were like, wow, this guy, he's bold. I gotta say, he's bold.
Were you a fan?
I didn't know that much about his music yet. I'd heard a couple of things.
Right.
I heard a song somewhere at one point, a song that he did called Oxford Town.
Oxford Town,
And
Oxford Town. Yeah.
And I loved the sound of his voice on it, and that he was saying something.
Yeah.
The song was about something.
Right.
Whoa. And so that caught my attention, but it was like I wasn't following folk music.
Right.
I was following, what we were into. Southern music.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So